Hello, how are you? It's getting dark. But first, I want to just thank all the new subscribers. I am just totally amazed. I don't know what happened. It's like YouTube opened the valve, and all of a sudden, my video is seen by people out there. Wow, I am just shocked. I don't know, was it the topic? I wanted to reach Zionist Christians, of course, and it seems like I reached more people that are understanding of what I was saying, which is good. I'm so thankful for all of you that found me, all of you that subscribed. Please continue to watch my videos. Also go back and watch the video I made before the last one, because there's a connection between the two videos, the last video I made. Go to my playlist. There's a lot of good topics that I made videos on. And again, thank you for finding me. So thankful. My videos for the new people are about end times prophecy and just simply teaching the truth or finding the truth in the Bible. I don't go by interpretation. I don't. I have my own opinion sometimes, and I will let you know. But when it comes to the Bible, I don't want to go on opinions or interpretation. Interpretations are opinions. And we have done so much damage to our churches. They're all fallen away. They're all corrupt. Very few can we find that are really not corrupt and that are really following the Holy Spirit. Following the Holy Spirit means we are really connected to Jesus, following only His way and letting the Holy Spirit guide us. We cannot, when we follow Jesus, also follow the world. That does not work. That's why our founding fathers separated state and church. And the movement that we have today is to combine the two again, and that is not a good thing, people. It's a bad thing. It misleads people. And I'm not talking about Christian nationalism today. I have talked about it. Please go back. Watch my video about Christian nationalism. That really became more popular now with Charlie Kirk. Today, I really want to talk about the beast, and I want to talk more about the image of the beast rather than the mark of the beast. I'm going to look clearly who is this beast that gives us this, or who makes this image. What is the image? And you will see I try not to interpret. I try to define words. Define. That's the most important thing. People define what's there. And your definition depends on the context. The context, people. What does the writer think about the image? Okay, for an example. That's kind of hard because the writer may have never understood what the image is. Most likely not. Why? Because does he understand all the images, the advanced images we have today? Like, for instance, a computer. That's an image. It's a representation. No. Did they see a computer when they talked about the image? I don't know. They didn't describe it. So it's kind of hard to make connections. But if we know what is being developed today, then we have a better idea of what they're talking about here. So let's get started. We're going to talk about the beast system. Now, I made a video about the beast system not too long ago, 2 or 3 videos ago. Look at that. And now I'm continuing. I think I focused then more on the beast out of the sea, which is Europe. Not so much on the beast out of the earth, who is actually creating that image. So, when we talk about beast, it is always a political system or an empire. Always, it's not a religious system. It's a political system. So the beast out of the sea is Europe. Can't be any other way. It used to be the Holy Roman Empire, because that came out of the Roman Empire. It's part, it's well, that's why it's called Holy Roman Empire. Roman. It's still Rome, but a transformation happened and it got these 10 horns. People, it's really, if you think about it, if you know about history, it can't be anything else. So don't think about all kinds of wild things. Just think what we have or had. And that Holy Roman Empire was wounded. And out of that wound came Europe. The wound was healed. And who stepped in? It was America. The Empire of America, Empire USA, stepped in to protect it. And therefore then it got the power from that first beast, and the power came from the dragon. That's why when we read 11, this beast out of the earth gets or speaks like a dragon, but in reality is the dragon. Speaks like the dragon, which is Satan. Now people are going to scream, right? We are not the dragon. We don't belong to the dragon. Yeah, please, okay? No, that's the way it is. Maybe you started like a lamb, okay? Or like we started like a lamb, innocent. But then we are now speaking like a dragon all over. Just listen to Trump. Trump speaks like a dragon. He speaks like the dragon. If you don't want to believe it. All right, anyway, so then this is the beast, the United States, that we read about in then verse 14. It deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Yes, it deceived it. It's also the false prophet. How did he deceive? Look under false prophet, I think, and beast out of the earth or something in false prophet, because I made videos how the United States deceives the world with his talk about democracy, and it's a false democracy. And it ordered them, the inhabitants of the earth, where we at? Them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. So in honor of the beast who was wounded is Europe. So, but the United States is ordering that. Well, not all people will set it up. Of course, only the experts. Because it will take a lot of knowledge to set up this image. What kind of image could it be? Think about it. Okay? In German, they translate it as picture. No, it's not a picture. Later on, we see it's going to speak and decide things. So, no, it's not just a simple picture. So what else do we have? Well, it definitely is not a TV because, yeah, TV speaks, but it doesn't make any decisions to kill people. Computer with holograms and all the stuff we have. Maybe we're coming closer like computers and internet and, yeah, computer programs. So I'm just going to throw things out there for you to think about. And yes, we have to think about these things. Are we therefore interpreting? No, we're just looking in our world today what they could use for this image. An image. Now it says right here, the second beast in 15 was given power. No, the second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast. So the second beast, which is the beast out of the earth, that's United States, was given power. In other words, the capability sorry. So the capability to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. So in other words, does it have consciousness? What does it mean to give breath? Maybe we need to talk about that. What came to my mind is Genesis. What did God do? He created this being out of dirt and he breathed into his nostril the breath of life. And he became a living being. What are we working on today? We're working today, our government specifically, they're working on this supercomputer. And yep, the technocrats are working on that. The people like Elon Musk and what's the other guy? Peter Thiel. And all their friends are working on what? Supercomputer. When Trump got into office, they were talking about that. Supercomputer costs a lot of money, needs a lot of energy. And I'm wondering if Elon Musk was in the White House to find the money to build that supercomputer. All that little stuff he was doing, and exposing all the waste of money, right? So what happened to the money that he exposed and maybe they stopped? Did he take it so they can build this supercomputer? I'm just thinking, okay? This is now my imagination. But hey, think about it. The fact is they're interested in building this supercomputer. And it's not going to be just a supercomputer, like an AI, artificial intelligence, right? That's what we talk about today, AI, right? Artificial intelligence. But really, what do they have as an artificial intelligence? It's just what they put in there, right? Information. It just connects all the information in a speed of whatever. It brings the information together. No, it doesn't have its own consciousness. But they're working on that. And when you look here, putting the breath, or what does it say? Yeah, the breath into this image. Just like God put the breath into this lump of clay, and he becomes a living being, a living conscious soul being. Is that what they're here referring to? So now all of a sudden, this AI is not just, again, a machine, but now it becomes a living being, a conscious being. Is that possible? I've been watching a lot of movies lately on this topic. We started watching Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, and well, that was the theme, right? This AI all of a sudden becoming independent and having its own mind, and they have to catch it because all of a sudden this AI is in charge. And they caught it in this little cube, this little tube. Whoops, got you. Really? Okay. You know, it reminded me of this genie in a bottle. Oh, we're going to put this little genie, a genie, which is a demon, right, into this little bottle until we can control it. Oh, you can only give me 3 wishes, and then you can have to go back in the bottle. That's what they're trying to do with this sentient being that all of a sudden came about. Nobody knows how. It just all of a sudden developed. I watched another movie where the scientist said, oh, it's like when the apes jump from the trees and they become human beings. That's ridiculous. Didn't happen. It's a theory. It's not real. They never proved that actually happened. And it didn't. No, monkeys just didn't become, aware and then became like humans. Didn't happen that way. God created consciousness. It comes from God and it will go back to God. It's not something that just pops up. Neither will that happen with a computer or an AI. An AI will always remain a machine. Now, wait a minute, though. Then why would they say, oh, what does it say? They had power to give breath to the image. Wow, how did they do that? What kind of power? What kind of power to give breath to the image? In other words, to make this image become aware? Did the scientists really do it? How did they do it? Well, if you continue watching these movies, right, in this Mission Impossible, they didn't know who did it. It just happened, right? Happened. But I watched a interview with Tucker Carlson with a guy, and I don't remember now. I'll put the video on the bottom, with a guy who researched the occult, made a connection with the occult and Silicon Valley, those technocrats. Their goal is to create an AI that has consciousness. But what kind of consciousness? It's the consciousness of some beings, spiritual beings that they are already in contact with in their mind. They're using, of course, you know that, drugs to invite these beings, what are those beings, fallen angels, into their head. And they speak many times, of course, called channeling through these people. So what do they want? They want to invite a being like that into a computer, an AI. So then they give breath to this computer so it's alive, and people think, oh my goodness, this is a sentient being, this computer is now, this AI now is really artificial intelligence, or it's really not artificial intelligence. It's now has become, or does have now a soul, a consciousness. This is what they're planning. People, and if you know this is what they're planning, then you can plug this in right here and understand what this is going to be. Now, I don't know for sure because our technology will continue to develop, but they're already working on this supercomputer that will control everything. That, controls everything. Surveillance is all over. Some of these videos I also saw, that they will have cameras all over. In this computer, this sentient being, this, computer being, could use these cameras all over the place to see what's going on. And of course, it has all the information it can just imagine, more than even human beings. And it brings it all together because the mind works a lot faster than human mind. And on top of it, it has then the awareness of a spiritual being, of a fallen angel. And so, then it can also speak. And at the same time, it will cause those who do not worship it, because it knows exactly who is going to worship it or not, to be killed. And how is it going to be killed? Heads off. Because we will see that now. It also forces all people, great and small, rich and poor, the image, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or their foreheads. Is it the image that causes the people to get the mark, or is it the beast, the government? I believe at that time that beast will be maybe instead of the government. It's all possible that it will be actually controlling the government. And then it says it calls for wisdom, and of course it tells you the 666. And people, do we really need at this point know what the 666 is? 666 is. We already know who's going to give it. We already know about the image. Of course, the mark is the number from that image. That we know we are in this computer, in this system. Right? Because we have to be marked, that we are all in that computer and that we're part of this computer. Makes all sense, right? Instead of guessing around, it could be the Sunday law, or it could be, the Pope. The Pope does enough, people. We don't have to pull the Pope into this. Because he doesn't have anything to do with it, really. He's just the religious system. And he will support it, of course. See, this is, again, control of the masses, and the Pope is not interested. He's controlling the masses in other ways. So no, that has nothing to do with the Pope. It has something to do with the political system. The Pope sits on the political system. And of course, he also controls it. So no, we don't need to think about the 666. It's just a distraction. It's an absolute stupid distraction. This is what's coming. I don't know 100%. They could be within, developing things as they go. We know that Europe is going towards this digital money system. This month, they're going into this digital money system. I think we still have a little bit, but we don't know it. Because, see, it will go from 1 minute to the next in the United States because they're planning it, but they don't tell you. They will probably create another false flag, and during that false flag, they're going to say, lockdown, we're going to have to change things. It's possible. I don't know. This is just me thinking. We have to be aware on our guard. Our government today is not what we think it is. And we have to be prepared. I believe that before all this stuff really is totally forced, that the rapture will happen. That's what I believe. We will not, when it is forced, and people who don't have the mark have to go into hiding because they cannot buy or sell. They cannot own things. Do you understand that you can't go to the hospital, you can't go to the doctors, you cannot do anything, people. You cannot even own a car, you cannot have a job, nothing. Before that happens, I believe the rapture will happen, and only the foolish virgins, and I hope you know Matthew 25, will have to go through the wrath of God, and they will either lose their head or hide. That's all the two things they can do. Hide where? When this surveillance state, this computer is controlling everything, where are you going to hide? Really, where? In the wilderness someplace where there is no connection with any, internet or anything like that. No cell towers, no nothing, okay? Is that where you're going to hide? Some people, preppers, right? You know about preppers. Oh, they're preparing, right? No, they are not. When it gets to that point, there is no preparation. You will not survive. You'll have to bow to the computer or else. They will know where your bunker is. They will know where your hideout is. Why? Because you own the land. You own the land. Guess what? They know where you are because you pay taxes. No, there is no survival. There is no prepping. Once they implement the system, it's the end, people. It's the end. The computer will be in charge of everything. Computer will control everything. I don't know how people with children would survive that. They wouldn't. So people, the only chance we have is really to pray for the rapture. And some people say, oh no, the rapture's not going to happen. No. If you keep watching my videos and even go back and watch my old videos, you will know the rapture. There is no doubt in my mind. I have done the research. I have checked out the Bible. There is going to be, or Jesus will pick up his bride. If you don't believe in rapture, if you've been brainwashed already to think rapture doesn't happen, then read 1 Thessalonians 4. Jesus will come to pick up his bride. Before the wrath of God. Not afterwards. And this fake 7-year tribulation doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist. Again, if you have found my video and you still believe in dispensationalism, do some research. Look under, playlist, dispensationalism. If you are still, stuck in these lies, get out of it. Even if you're stuck in people that deny the rapture. Jesus will come to pick up his bride. He doesn't want his bride to go through the wrath of God. And the tribulation doesn't exist. We are going through tribulation right now. Okay? This is the tribulation that we're going through. It is a horrible time. We are all extremely deceived. Look at the United States. How deceived are these so-called Christians? These Zionist Christians, people. Zionism comes from the Zionist Christians. They get their idea from dispensationalism. They are totally blind. And we need to stop being deceived and blind. Jesus will come for us before the wrath. And right now is the time of tribulation. How many people are deceived right now and have been falling away from the truth? If you don't believe that, I am so sorry. Again, I'm getting off my topic. Since I have a lot of new people, I wanted to just bring this in. People, and there's always my kitty with me. New people. This is Mrs. Kitty. Miss Kitty. And she's always here. She has to be part of it. So, let the Holy Spirit guide you. And I'll see you soon.